tries to interfere with the Taiji dolphin hunt, it would only be an ineffective waste of resources and result in an increase of cultural tension. Because of this, I stand in strong negation of the resolution. Resolved, the United Nations should adopt a resolution decrying or demanding an end to the annual dolphin hunt in Taiji, Japan. For clarification and around, the Taiji hunt is a once-annual event occurring in Taiji, Japan, in which fishermen drive dolphins into a cove, sell as many as they can into captivity, and kill the rest. It usually results in the deaths of about 600 dolphins. Contention 1. The United Nations is not the right actor. A UN resolution would only cause political tension between Japan and the United Nations. This is a problem for several reasons. First, Japan is a large participant in the United Nations and responsible for about 11% of the United Nations funding. In the 2012-2013, they were responsible for the equivalent of nearly 600 million United States dollars going to the United Nations. Second, a UN resolution might not do anything and shall help any dolphins, and instead only console everyone that we are doing something. If we want to change this part of Japanese society, then we should not have the UN be doing it, but the WDC or another international ocean regulation program. Contention 2. More dolphins are killed every year by nets than die in the annual Taiji hunt. Every day, 1,000 whales, dolphins, and porpoises are killed by gill nets around the world. These creatures are tangled in the thin nylon filaments and drowned. By no way a better death than those 600 killed in Taiji at the annual dolphin hunt. The WDC's resources would be better spent helping these 300,000 dolphins a year than a mere 600. Contention 3. If the WDC wants to be effective, then they should stop the slaughter, not the hunt. The same people who speak out the strongest for the rights of dolphins are the same people who swam with them as kids. The truth is that the man is dolphins' greatest enemy, and if dolphins are to be saved from man, they will be by man. By allowing SeaWorld and the likes to benefit off the hunt in Taiji, dolphins are getting a net benefit as humans cultivate a love for them in future generations. There would be less people who love dolphins if they hadn't gone to see these dolphins at SeaWorld and be splashed by whales. We need to see here that even though for dolphins that end up in SeaWorld and they might not lead happy lives, the net benefit for dolphins as a species is great enough to justify it. I'll now move on to my opponent's case. His first contention mentions the inhumanity of the method used to kill dolphins. However, I would like the judge to cross-apply my argument on stopping the slaughter and not the hunt. Though captivity is not a good thing for captive dolphins, it helps dolphins as a species, and if we want to effectively save these dolphins, then captivity is an important factor. Dolphins need the love of their species cultivated in future generations of humans, and the best way to do that is to have them experience dolphin shows and swimming with dolphin programs as children. If dolphins need to have some of their number kept in captivity, then the hunt should be allowed to continue. If it's inhumane to kill dolphins, then the WDC or even the UN should stop the dolphin slaughter, but not the hunt that the species as a whole benefits from. Furthermore, in his first argument, my opponent mentioned that it should be considered inhumane to kill. However, does this mean that it's inhumane to kill any animal? If it does, the UN agrees that there are millions of animals dying that the UN could be saving instead of a mere 600 of one species. If the means that dolphins should not be killed, then how do we draw the line? If we decide that what animals live and what animals die. In his second contention, my opponent stated that the annual hunt in Taiji is detrimental to the environment. His first point on harms to the environment is that mercury, but as long as dolphins are not being killed, this does not release mercury into the environment, no humans, and then into humans, and we can see that here's another excuse to stop the slaughter while not stopping the hunt. In fact, almost all of my opponent's harms are due to the fact that dolphins are being killed. If the slaughter is stopped, then all of its harms can be discounted, and if the hunt is stopped, I have harms of my own regarding the loss of human interest in dolphin species as a whole. He also mentioned that the hunt poses a threat to endangered dolphins, but first, stopping the slaughter would mean it actually helps dolphins, whereas stopping the hunt would hurt them, and secondly, gill nets kill up to 1,000 dolphins a day, which means they pose a far greater threat to the species than one hunt a year. Finally, my opponent's last contention on the UN and Japan. First of all, the UN may have been successful at stopping one hunt, but their interference with the hunt has angered both citizens and government officials in Japan. Abrams 14. A Japanese parliamentary committee unanimously passed a resolution calling the government to fully investigate its options regarding whaling. According to the committee, the court's decision was regrettable, but the committee hoped that Japan would be able to continue its whaling as part of a unique society and culture. Furthermore, the UN was created for the purpose of helping humans, not animals, and an organization such as the WDC, specifically created to help save animals, would be better suited to this task. Lastly, my opponent argued that it was important for Japan to stop killing the dolphins because they killed more dolphins than any other country. And it may be true that Japan hunts the most dolphins and whales of any country, but each country is responsible for the killing of dolphins with gill nets, and as I said, that's a greater harm than the one hunt a year. In conclusion, I can see only a ballot in the favor of the negative for this round. I have proven that stopping the hunt entirely would hurt dolphins more than it help, and that we cannot assume dolphins are the right species to save, and that gill nets pose a much bigger threat to dolphins than the Taiji hunt, and that the UN should not be the actor. Thank you for agreeing.